Hi and welcome back to Learn Python by Doing number 21. So now we're going to learn about the counter class. So the counter class is just a subclass of the dictionary class. But the counter class is enhanced for counting hashable objects. It is a collection where elements are stored as dictionary values, dictionary keys, and their counts are stored as dictionary values. Okay, so in other words, counters are simply dictionaries that count elements from an iterable. These counts are allowed to be any integer, including zero or negative counts, and the counter class is similar to bags or multisets in other programming languages, if you have heard of these concepts. Elements are counted from an iterable, as I already told you, or initialized from another mapping or counter. So first, of course, we have to import the counter class, and it is available from this collections library, which is built in Python. So from collections, we're going to import counter. And now let's see an example with our fruits list. So we're going to say apple is in this list 3 times. Watermelon is going to be 1 time here, and grapes is going to be 2 times here. Okay, so now we can define an object of this class counter. So we pass to the constructor fruits, and now let's see the elements of, or what does this object have. So this object or dictionary has this apple with a count of 3, this watermelon with a count of 1, and these grapes with a count of 2. So very good. And we can, as you remember, this is a dictionary, so we can get it with the get method and say apple, well, is going to give us 3. If we pass apples, which is a key that is not present in this dictionary, it's going to return none. But let's access elements like we did before. So like this, it's giving us apple. And remember, this should give us a key error, but with counter, it's giving us 0. So whenever a key does not exist in the counter, then it's going to give us a count of 0. So it's safe to call it like this or to call it with get. In this case, there is no difference because with get, you can also, maybe I didn't specify this, but if you don't want none to be returned, then you can specify this second argument, and then it's going to be the same. So you can replace this with 0, with none, or with whatever value you want to get if the key doesn't exist. So this is equivalent to this in this case for the counter class. Okay, so there are very useful methods bounded to this counter class, and one that I use the most is called most common. So let's see, counts dot most common, and I can pass here a number. So if I say 1, then it is going to give me the most common element in this fruits list as a tuple. So the first element of the tuple will be the element, the key, and the second element will be the value. If I say 2 here, then it's going to give me the 2 most common elements in this iterable, and if I pass it with no argument, then it's going to give me all elements as a list of tuples. Okay, so this is very useful, for example, when you want to calculate the mode, for example, of a set. This is very useful. You just have to call counts.mostCommon, and then you will have your mode. Okay, there are other methods that you can research in the documentation, in the Python documentation, but remember that this counter Can count also from any iterable. So for example, if I say counter and I pass here, I hope I am spelling this word correctly. If not, then correct me. And look at this. So remember, strings are also iterables. So this gives me the count of the characters. So M appears just once, I appears 4 times, the S appears 4 times, and P appears 1 time. So this is also valid if you pass any iterable. So we have learned the difference between iterables and iterators. So at this point, you can pass to the counter any iterable if you want. So that's everything I have to tell you about the counter class. As I told you, it's very useful for finding the mode from a set. And well, see you in the next video.